Alice's favorite vase.
She always says don't play ball in the house.
Pork chops and applesauce. That's swell.
Marcia. Hey, you guys. Oh, my nose!
Welcome to Here's the Story, a Brady Bunch podcast. Hey, I'm not going to tear this thing apart. It's my favorite show. I know it's been a little while, but I'm back with episode 15, titled 5440 and Fight. Alice comes home with the groceries and asks for some help putting the food away. Peter asks, "Do you have any cookies?" To which she responds, "That's like asking Garcia if he's got any messages." And since it was followed by a laugh track, I'll assume that was a joke. But what in the world does it mean? If she said, "That's like asking Garcia if he's got any messages," it might be referring to a commonly used phrase at the time about carrying a message to Garcia, which was a widely distributed essay from 1899, but could be heard being used by Richard Nixon on the Watergate tapes. It even worked its way into becoming associated with the Boy Scouts, and it means taking initiative when carrying out a difficult assignment and seeing it through till completion. So I guess Alice having cookies is as much of a sure thing as Garcia getting his messages delivered to him. It must have been funny at the time. I wonder how many other colloquialisms in use for 75 years have completely vanished from the public consciousness. So the kids start digging through the bags of groceries, and they pull out trading stamps, to which they immediately begin to fight over. You see, they've both been saving them up to redeem for those premiums you get. The boys have saved 54 books of them for a rowboat, and the girls have saved 40 books of them for a sewing machine. Well, hence the title of the episode, 54, 40, and Fight. Alice fuels the fire by opening a kitchen drawer full of more stamps to fight over. Well, the parents walk into the middle of the fight, and Alice exits stage right to go wash Tiger with some recycled footage from episode 5, Kachoo. Carol complains about how hard her day of shopping was, and Mike solves the kids' problems by telling them to split up the stamps evenly. As the boys and girls group off to go put their stamps in their books, no one sees the freshly wet Tiger roving through the rooms, getting stamps stuck all over him, and causing Greg and Marcia to accuse each other of stealing them. Bobby and Cindy did the same thing in the Kitty Carryall episode, so now we just need Peter and Jan to accuse each other of taking something that Tiger actually did, and then the writers can come up with some other uses for dogs. During the kids' argument, Mike walks in and solves that problem too. He's just a roving cool breeze, wafting through every room with words of wisdom and a calm for every temper. But Mike isn't a complete man on his own. No, we see him pacing the living room, talking through his ideas with his other half, Carol. And that's when she gets a brilliant idea. She runs it by the kids first, and they love it. Pool all the stamps together and get something for the entire Brady family. The kids work together in coming up with an idea. The idea is for the parents to decide on the gift, because they don't care anymore. They're just tired of arguing with each other. Well, the parents can't agree on something either, but figure there's no rush. Well, that is until they get the paper the next morning and see that the Checker Trading Stamp Company is going out of business. They'd better pick something fast before all the redeemable premiums are gone. The decision goes back to the kids, and Peter thinks a model train set would be great, as long as it has curtains in the windows so that girls would like it. And Jan thinks a hairdryer would be good for boys because their hair is longer than girls nowadays. Then she promptly turns around so we can see her 47-foot-long ponytail. Oh, Jan. Well, they do come up with an idea. Either a rowboat or a sewing machine. But it's to be decided by the winner of a contest. And Alice has the idea for the contest. Building a house out of playing cards. This House of Cards sequence is so memorable, I had forgotten it was just a scene in this episode. I thought there was an entire episode built around it. The nervousness they display during the contest reminds me of how nervous I was taking my state boards yesterday. No, I take that back. No one in the history of the human race was as nervous as I was. But I passed, so back to the Bradys. The skyscraper of cards they end up building is so large, they've had to have all been standing around that little card table for most of the day. But according to Carol, it was just over an hour. Well, throughout which, the fear is Marcia knocking everything over with her dangling bracelet. I can't figure out why she just doesn't take it off. And while she's at it, she should take off that 6-inch wide tie. Why in the world is she wearing a tie as wide as a bib with her dress? I mean, it's a man's tie. Well, if that man was a circus clown. Okay, now Tiger runs in, leaps into Greg, and he falls into the house of cards, demolishing the entire thing. No, almost. You can see some of the cards are taped together in a little structure. Looks like the prop master was helping someone cheat. Mike even tries pressing the structure flat a few times. I can't believe they left all that in. The director was clearly having some fun with this. Well, the girls get ready and they go off to the store to get their sewing machine. And the store's closed, so they just bang on the door and badger some old guy into opening it up. He proceeds to read to them the labels on the sewing machines, and it makes me jealous that he did it without having to put on glasses. Why am I more decrepit than the old guy? Oh, by the way, he'll return in a future episode as Marcia's driving instructor. And they all return home with what they picked out. It's a color TV! It's smaller than the TV sitting right behind it in the living room, so I'm going to assume that one, as well as the TV in the family room, are black and white sets. Otherwise, why all the excitement, right? Well, this of course reminds me of when I lived through the exact same experience. You see, when I was a kid, public supermarkets gave out S&H green stamps for 33 years until 1987 when they discontinued them, and we had to take what we had and make a mad dash to the store to redeem them. We sure didn't have 94 books, but each one was worth $120 in purchases, and we had a few, so we redeemed them for 2 TVs. One for me and one for my brother, but unlike the Bradys, ours were black and white. See, the real difference with ours was they were portable and had built-in radios. Yeah, these were 5-inch screen TVs from a company called Tote Vision that you carried around by a handle. Then you flipped down a little stand on the bottom and propped up and extended the radio antenna so you could watch TV or listen to music anywhere. I think we even took them to the beach once. I listened to Rick D's Weekly Top 40 sometimes, but mostly I remember watching Sherwood Schwartz's other show on it all the time, Gilligan's Island. I'd set it on the hamper to watch while I was taking a bath. I loved that little TV. I wonder how my brother felt about his. Until next time.